Sure, and I'm glad we can all be gathered here and seeing some new faces and some faces that have helped me out through the years, especially since our former director of grounds is here. Nice to see you, Ted. So my name is Jim Kaufmann. I'm the director of Capitol Grounds and Arboretum. I am honored to welcome Congressman French Hill, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, and our other distinguished guests today for today's tree dedication ceremony in honor of Frederick Law Olmsted. Olmsted designed the Capitol grounds in 1874, using trees to both frame the beauty of the U.S. Capitol building and provide shade for visitors. And we don't need the shade today, but that's okay. It is fitting that we discuss Olmsted's legacy as we dedicate this tree today. From New York City's Central Park to the beautiful grounds we stand on today, Frederick Law Olmsted's legacy of shaping American landmarks through landscape architecture stands strong. We have Olmsted to thank for planting the original trees on Capitol grounds. Several dozen are still surviving today, and we are entrusted to care for them, and it's a great pleasure to do that. Much like his legacy, the Kentucky coffee tree is a strong tree and an enduring tree. A lifespan of over 100 years, the coffee tree reflects the longevity of Olmsted's design. Almost 150 years after he first planted trees on Capitol grounds, we dedicate this Kentucky coffee tree for him and for his remarkable achievements. Thank you all. At this time, I'd like to invite Congressman French Hill to the podium. Congressman?
Well, good morning. It's a delight to be here in America's most extraordinary arboretum that we owe a real tribute to Frederick Law Olmsted for its initiation, its design, its beauty, and the fact that it sustained itself all these decades later, and that the 18,000 people that come to work here every day from all 50 states and around the world get to just marvel at how the Capitol pops in its botanical surroundings. And so it's an amazing place. And I'm glad Jim Kaufmann has 25 years of care under his belt, and appreciate his now being the lead caretaker for this extraordinary property. And I want to thank especially my good friend Debbie Dingell from Michigan. We were elected together in 2014. We worked on many legislative priorities together. We share a deep love of John Dingell, who and I was a young Treasury official in the Bush administration back in the early 90s. Was the most intimidating letter you could receive was from John Dingell, and they were always answered before the due date, staff members who were here. We want to thank the Olmsted Network, the Garden Club of America, the American Society of Landscape Architects, of which Olmsted was a founding member. And so it's a treat to be here to salute him. It's fitting that the Kentucky coffee tree we're dedicating today, which overlooks the summer house, which was Olmsted's inclusion to the updated Capitol grounds to give tourists and visitors a place to find rest and comfort while visiting the Capitol and the Capitol grounds. I've had the honor of sponsoring two other trees on the Capitol grounds, which gives me a great pleasure. First, right outside the Russell Senate Office building, we planted a tree in honor of the 75th anniversary of the Fulbright program, which was initiated by Bill Fulbright, a longtime U.S. Senator from my home state of Arkansas. And then secondly, what a treat it was with Kevin McCarthy and Nancy Pelosi on a beautiful day to plant a mighty white oak right in front of the rotunda of the Capitol in honor of the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, who was truly the inspiration behind America's original conservation and environmental movement. And it was a treat to see Speaker Pelosi and Minority Leader McCarthy work on something so positive together that day. Because you see, when people come and plant trees, these are optimists. If you plant a tree, you're an optimist. You're never going to sit in the shade of a tree. You're making a generational contribution to the people who come after us, and that's why it's a treat that you're all here to witness this coffee trees joining the botanical garden here at the U.S. Capitol. Thank you for coming out on this rainy day, and think of all the people who in the decades ahead will sit in the shade of this coffee tree. Thanks for having me today. And now I get to call up my dear friend Debbie Dingell of Michigan.
I want to thank French for including me in this great honor, and I also want to thank our dear friend who guards these grounds for 25 years, but these grounds are evidence of the endurance of our democracy. So I was very proud when French came to me and asked me if I would help do this. I wanted to do it for several reasons. One, he mentioned my husband, who was a great conservationist, who loved the outdoors and knew that the outdoors were something that we had to preserve for generations, and that quite frankly, what happens inside those walls can sometimes be frustrating, but what is outside here is a reflection of America. It is a place where people can come, see their government, get to come and find a place to rest themselves under a tree, to think about the history of our country, to look at our beautiful Capitol grounds and think about the many other green spaces throughout our country. We are honoring a great man. Olmsted did incredible. You know, he understood. If you think about what he did, when you look at Central Park, when you look at these Capitol grounds, how important the preserving of our public spaces were. He knew that green spaces were critical and that they would bring us together. He also knows that the outdoors promotes community. You know, it advances democracy in many different ways. And it also provides recreational opportunities as well as nurturing and invigorating public health. Most importantly, like Teddy Roosevelt, John Dingell, and many other great conservationists, he knew that we had to conserve our natural resources for future generations. So we are very lucky to dedicate this coffee tree. Dr. Jim Kaufmann, thank you for making sure that we are protecting these grounds for many generations to come. And while, you know what, French, we'll sit under the leaf and enjoy it. But we know that we're looking forward to countless others coming and sitting here, and it is fitting that we should be honoring Frederick Law Olmsted today with this tree, which is known for its endurance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Dingell. Thank you all for coming to today's tree dedication ceremony in honor of Frederick Law Olmsted. We know that visitors from around the world will continue to bask in the beauty of his work for many years to come. At this time, we invite our distinguished guest to the front for some photos with our new tree. All right.
it's right over here. Yeah, it's right next to the tennis. Yes, they are.
Another great event.
Oh, hang on. Let me check my phone. Let me see if he texted.
Coffee tree.
Yeah.
I mean, we